Good morning to all and welcome to the session. I would like to start the session with a nice quote. There are only two options. One, make progress or make excuses. Only two options in life. Either make progress or make excuses. You have to decide one of the two. Good morning again to one and all. Welcome to the session. The Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. Today's editorial is all about an international one, elections in France, a different context, and an international, it goes with French elections. There are some important words. That is the reason why I have brought this particular editorial. Before we go to the editorial analysis, let us have a look at important editorial vocabulary. Thank you very much. The first one, cocktail. Not a good word to begin with. Morning, the first session. Cocktail, part of speech noun. What does it mean? A drink, usually an alcoholic one, made by mixing two or more drinks together. We take two or three hot drinks and we mix. Then what do we get? It is known as cocktail. In this context, you have to recollect one more word. What is that? Mocktail. Cocktail goes with hot drinks. Mocktail, when you take fruit juices, different fruit juices, and you mix, that is known as mocktail. Cocktail, mocktail. Then you may wonder how come, what is its relevance over here? When you go through the editorial, you understand. The second word, polarize, this goes with politics. It could be a verb, it could be a noun. Here, noun in the sense polarized, it could be an adjective. To cause something, basic word is verb. I'll change it to verb. To cause something, especially something that contains different people or opinions, to divide into two completely opposing groups. You have a lot of people, and those people are divided into two opposing groups. Then we say they got polarized. This word comes from polar. We have two poles, the North Pole, the South Pole. When people are divided into, the word over here, two completely opposing groups. North Pole, South Pole, opposing, poles apart. There is one important expression that you have to recollect. So polarized, the society is polarized, means divided into two completely opposing groups. Crumble, we have got a few times, part of speech verb. Break or fall apart into small fragments, especially as part of a process of deterioration. Deteriorate, to get spoiled, to go down. In that process, if something falls apart into small fragments, fragments means pieces, then we use the word crumble. The empire has crumbled, the building has crumbled, the party has crumbled, combinations. A runoff, this also, the context goes with politics, elections. Many of these words go with elections and polity. A runoff, a further competition, already competition, further competition, in addition, competition or election, a race, etc. After a tie, initial competition, tie, then further competition or election, race, after a tie or inconclusive result, conclusive, opposite, inconclusive result. Warping, this goes with business English and also everyday English. Very large. Warping means what? Very large. Crackdown, this goes with administration, phrasal verb. To take positive, regulatory, or disciplinary action. It goes more with disciplinary action, crackdown. Whenever there is a protest, some sort of resentment or protest, then the government, the regime, tries to crack down. Nuanced, an important word we have got a few times. Nuanced adjective, characterized by subtle shades of meaning or expression, nuances of something, nuances of the poem or a particular piece of anything that belongs to literature or anything. nuanced adjective form, nuances noun form, a resentment noun, bitter indignation at having been treated unfairly. Imagine someone is treated unfairly, that person will definitely feel bad, annoyed, angry, frustrated. Then bitter feeling, bitter indignation at having been treated unfairly. For that, we use resentment, an important word. I'm sure you guys know the word spectrum. Part of speech, you can say anger as well. Noun, used to classify something in terms of its position on a scale between two extreme points. You can also think of the word range, spectrum, a range. Coalition, this goes with parties or government, a temporary alliance for combined action, especially of political parties, as I said, forming a government, coalition party, a coalition government. Different parties come together, they form a government. Then we use the expression coalition government. Intact, something is intact. This is an important word, adjective. Not damaged or impaired in any way. Complete. More than complete, something is intact. Usually it goes with something that is fragile or delicate or brittle. After transportation, intact means what? Not damaged, not broken, not impaired in any way. Endorse, we have got many a time. Declare one's public approval or support of. Usually this goes with products, celebrities. A particular celebrity endorses a particular product or a particular service. That means publicly he gives his approval, his or her approval. Endorse, an important word. Liberal. Western world, usually they use this term, they talk about the word, they use the word liberal. Means what? Part of speech, adjective, willing to respect or accept behavior or opinions different from one's own, open to new ideas. Liberal means open to new ideas, and you accept others' ideas. They may be different from your ideas. Alienated, there is one expression, alienation, noun form, tribal alienation, means what? Experiencing or inducing feelings of isolation or estrangement. Estranged husband, estranged wife means separated, isolation, estranged. These two words are important again, but in this context, we try to use the word isolation, isolated. Alienated means isolated. Condemn, express complete disapproval of, or criticize openly in public, condemn. Those are the words, not too many words, and many words are familiar. Now let us go to the editorial. It's all about French elections. A new cocktail. So you may wonder what is, how come cocktail over here? That to a new cocktail. In the context, what does it mean? Different political parties joining hands, forming alliances to form the government or coalition government. Then, in that context, here, cocktail, nothing to do with hot drinks, a new cocktail. What is the main idea of this editorial? France is facing one of its most crucial elections in decades. Decade, I'm sure you all know, means what? 10 years, a period of 10 years. France is facing present continuous tense. France is facing what? Facing what? You ask the question. France is facing one of its most crucial elections, one of an important phrase. You have to recollect three rules. In all the three rules, the noun is in the plural form that you have to focus on. France is facing what? Ask the question. One of its most crucial elections in decades, an important election. Based on that, this is the main idea. It provides the background information, and you can guess the broad framework. It has to talk about uh, background information. It has to talk about the political parties. It has to talk about the candidates, who has the chances, who doesn't have the chances, and all these aspects in the present scenario, and which party or which candidate is supporting a particular important aspect or a burning issue, and based on that, what could be the impact. These are the dimensions, obviously, the editorial has to talk about. The first round of France's presidential election on Sunday has shown how the country's political landscape, once dominated by the traditional social democratic and conservative parties, has shifted to a more polarized direction. A lengthy sentence. But in a nutshell, what does it talk about? It talks about the first round of France's presidential election. The first round on Sunday has shown something. What has it shown? How the country's political landscape, any country has the political landscape, means the different parties, the political landscape once dominated by the traditional social democratic and conservative parties. It was dominated by social democratic and conservative parties, but now the Sunday election, the first round, has shown that it has shifted to a more polarized direction. There's one important word: polarized means what? If you take a particular society or a group of people, they are divided into two opposing groups, then we use the word polarized. While Emmanuel Macron, the sitting president, came top with 27.8% of the votes, Marine Le Pen, a far right anti immigrant leader, finished second with 23.1%. Now, when it comes to elections, obviously, they have to present the statistical data. This sentence talks about the two main contenders, one Emmanuel Macron, the other one Marine Le Pen. One got 27.8%, the other got 23.1%. The conservative and socialist parties crumbled. Crumble means what? Break or fall apart into small fragments, especially as part of a process of deterioration. Something is deteriorating. Usually it goes with a building, a concrete structure, an organization, a company. It could be a country as well. Crumble means what? Fall apart, break into small fragments, small parts, especially as part of a process of deterioration. The Conservative and Socialist parties crumbled with a combined 6.7% vote, while the far right and leftist candidates won more than half of the polled votes. It talks about the different parties and the percentage. The runoff, an important expression, goes with elections. Runoff means what? A further competition, election, race after a tie or inconclusive result. Initial election, the result a tie or inconclusive result. Then again they conduct election. Then in that context we use runoff. The runoff on April 24th will determine who is to lead the European Union's second largest economy. We all know France belongs to get spoiled, deteriorate, lose the standards, go down in standards, and to get spoiled, deterioration. It goes with standards, deteriorating standards. It goes with health, deteriorating health. Someone's health is deteriorating, means what? Getting spoiled, obviously. The runoff on April 24th will determine who is to lead the European Union's second largest economy. We all know France belongs to Europe and it is the second largest economy in European Union. In Europe, you can take it that way. Opinion polls, whenever there are elections, we talk about opinion polls and exit polls. This sentence talks about that. And there is a particular word, psephology. Psephology means what? Prediction of election result. That is known as psephology. The person who does it is known as psephologist. Opinion polls suggest that the race will not be easy for Mr. Macron, as Ms. Le Pen, whose popularity was at 16% in February, has gained a lot of ground. Gain a lot of ground. That means that she has become more popular. If in 2017 Mr. Macron defeated Ms. Le Pen in the runoff with a whopping 32 percentage point margin, his lead now, say polls, is between 2 to 6 points. It talks about someone has become very popular, someone's popularity has come down. Here we talk about two candidates, one presidential candidates, Mr. Macron and Ms. Le Pen. It talks about the background, it provides the background information, what happened in 2017 and what is the present scenario. This sentence talks about that. Opinion polls suggest that the race will not be easy for Mr. Macron. Why? As Ms. Le Pen, whose popularity was at 16% in February, has gained a lot of ground. She has become more popular. If in 2017 Mr. Macron defeated Ms. Le Pen in the runoff with a whopping 32 percentage point margin, his lead now, say polls, is between 2 to 6 points. Where is 32? Where is 2 to 6 points? Now, there's one important word here, whopping, means what? Very large. You can also use the word mammoth. While a resentment over inflation, resentment, an important word, bitter indignation at having been treated unfairly. In this context, you can say anger, frustration, bitter feelings. While resentment over inflation and the rising cost of living remains high, Ms. Le Pen is offering a cocktail of hard nationalism and anti establishment politics to win over disaffected voters without losing her far right base. How could she become popular? How could she gain a lot of ground? To substantiate that, the editorial provides information. While while resentment over inflation and the rising cost of living remains high, Ms. Le Pen is offering a cocktail of hard nationalism and anti-establishment politics to win over disaffected voters without losing her far-right base, approach taken by Le Pen. 5 years ago, there was large-scale consolidation among the voters from across the political spectrum. Here, spectrum means a range. 5 years ago, 2017, what happened? There was large-scale consolidation. I use this word regularly. Consolidate your knowledge, strengthen your knowledge. Among the voters from across the political spectrum means different parties, different groups, often referred to as a Republican front behind Mr. Macron. Mr. Macron had the support of the different political parties. They wanted to defeat Ms. Le Pen's dangerous politics. Why did they unite? The reason behind, they wanted to defeat Ms. Le Pen's dangerous politics, which they believed was against the French Republican values. Values, you can also think of words like norms, ethics, values, principles. The biggest challenge he faces, he means Macron, the biggest challenge, excuse me, the biggest challenge he faces today is in keeping this coalition intact. Different parties joined hands together and it has resulted in coalition. Now, the biggest challenge Mr. Macron faces today is in keeping this coalition intact. There are two words over here. One, coalition, a temporary alliance for combined action, especially of political parties forming a government. That is one word. Intact, an important word. Not damaged or impaired in any way. Complete. Keep it as it is. Coalition intact while facing a more powerful rival, Le Pen. Leaders of the conservative and leftist parties have endorsed Mr. Macron for the runoff. Here, for the runoff, already have given the meaning. Endorsed, it talks about, endorse is an important word, means what? Publicly support, but usually it goes with business context. A particular celebrity publicly supports a product or a service, then we call it endorsement, endorse, declare one's public approval or support of. Here, leaders of the conservative and leftist parties have endorsed Mr. Macron for the runoff, but it is not clear, given the political changes underway, whether their voters would follow suit. There's no guarantee. The parties have given the approval or the support, but there's no guarantee whether their voters would follow suit. In 2017, Mr. Macron was a new face, an outsider with a liberal, progressive heart. Liberal, an important word, willing to respect or accept behavior or opinions different from one's own. So, this talks about again the background in 2017, how Mr. Macron could come to power. He was a new face, an outsider with a liberal, progressive heart. But as president, he won the elections. He became the president. But contrasting information, as president, his pro-business policies have alienated leftist voters. Pro-business policies, pro means in favor of, and alienated means isolated. Something went wrong. What went wrong? But as president, his pro-business policies have alienated leftist voters who supported Jean-Luc Mélenchon in the first round. Mr. Macron's decision to close down some mosques and some more reasons why he lost his popularity. Mr. Macron's decision to close down some mosques and crackdown on religious organizations have also led to cracks in the social coalition that backed him in 2017. Social coalition backed him in 2017. Now there are cracks. What is the reason? Mr. Macron's decision to close down some mosques, one reason, and crack down on religious organizations. Crack down, take disciplinary actions that backed him in 2017. Ms. Le Pen, already powered by the anti immigrant hard nationalists, is trying to win over the anti capitalist voters angry with Mr. Macron. So, what is the strategy of Le Pen? Already powered by the anti immigrant hard nationalists. Anti immigrant hard nationalist means they are not in favor of immigration. He is trying to win over the anti capitalist voters, leftists, obviously, anti capitalist voters angry with Mr. Macron. She has also taken a nuanced view of the Ukraine war. Nuanced, an important word, characterized by subtle shades of meaning or expression. View of the Ukraine war. While she has condemned, publicly criticized, expressed complete disapproval of, while she has condemned it, she is critical of the sanctions which Mr. Macron supported in coordination with the European Union and the US. She condemned the war. At the same time, she is critical of the sanctions. Subtle difference, the stance that has been taken by Le Pen. Her argument is that the sanctions are hurting French consumers. She has her own reason to oppose sanctions. Her argument is that the sanctions are hurting French consumers. She also wants to take French troops out of NATO's military command. Another stand taken by her. How does the editorial end? A Le, a Le Pen win would alter the character of France's polity and challenge here, it's a bit difficult to make out. A Le Pen win, pause, that is a subject, would alter the character of France's polity and challenge the combined efforts of the EU and NATO in opposing Putin's war on Ukraine. This possibility is what makes the April 24 runoff one of the most consequential presidential elections in France in decades. Main idea is being reiterated. Because her stand is different, it is going to change, would alter the character of France's polity, one thing, and challenge the combined efforts of the European Union and NATO opposing Putin's war on Ukraine. So that will make a tremendous impact. Based on that, it is going to be the most consequential presidential elections in France in decades. In decades, an important phrase. That's all about the editorial. Now let us go to questions based on the editorial. What is this editorial about? You should be able to write in brief at least. What is the biggest challenge Macron faces? What remains high in the context of the editorial? Something remains high. What remains high in the context of the editorial? What has also led to cracks in the social coalition that backed Macron in 2017? All keywords navigate, locate, write the answer. But when you write the answers, make sure you write complete sentences. And here and there, you have to change the words. That is very important. Who is trying to win over the anti capitalist votes angry with Mr. Macron? Someone is trying to win over the anti capitalist voters angry with Mr. Macron. Who is that? Easy to answer. Now let us go to, before we go to practice questions, please download the app Murthy's English. These are the features. And right now there's a course, Bank Exams English course. I'm going to launch today. I'm going to come up with a video, descriptive English. Very useful. Start early. That helps in the long run. Now let us go to practice questions. First 5 questions based on error location. People who intend to visit the tourist spots are always thrilling to see the scenario here. Very good, Bharat. People who intend to visit the tourist spots, no problem, are always thrilling, not correct. are always thrilled. Thrilling is not correct. Thrilled. Thrilled tourists. We have to use the adjective form. Here it is related to word forms. Thrilled. What is a combination? Thrilled tourists. Thrilling tourists, we don't say. Are always thrilled, excited, interested. Easy one, not that difficult. In such delicate matters, we often go with his advice as he has been handling such cases effectively. You have to become alert and read the sentence meticulously. In such delicate matters, we often go with his advice as he has been handling such cases effectively. A very good sentence. In such delicate matters, delicate issues, standard expressions, nothing wrong. We often go with, we have to use adverbs of frequency between the subject and the verb. So we often go with, no problem here. His advice, here we have to use a noun form. This is in the noun form, VICE, no problem. Why? As he has been handling present perfect continuous, no problem. Such cases effectively, adverb, no problem. Very good. What is the answer? No error. That takes, it is not easy to choose the fifth option. No, nothing wrong with his advice, but you have to recollect a piece of advice. Nothing wrong with that. The sentence, perfect, grammatically, contextually. He was too tired that he could not cross the street, even with the help of a porter. He was too tired that he could not cross the street, even with the help of a porter. Very good, Balu Naik, first one to respond. He was too tired, then it takes two. Too tired to go there, too short to reach something. Here we cannot, you don't see too. The appropriate word, he was so tired. Then you have to recollect so that, such that. What is the difference? So that goes with the adjectives and adverbs. Such that goes with nouns. So tired, tired person, adjective. He is so tired, or he was so tired that. So tired that she has done the work so well that. Remember, this is an important one. They have given in many competitive exams. So that goes with adjectives and adverbs, and such that goes with nouns. Your desire to meet the president without prior appointment are impossible to be satisfied. Exactly, Sairam. So that used for adverbs and adjectives. That's very good. If you write during the live session the related rule, that helps in the long run, and you will be able to consolidate your information, knowledge. No, not in this context. Not in this context, Madhav. He was much tired that we don't say that. He was so tired that he could not. You have to read the sentence completely. In that example, you cannot use the word much. Your desire, what is the subject? Desire. Your desire to meet the president without prior appointment. To meet the president without prior appointment, put in brackets, your desire is impossible to be satisfied. Easy to make out. You should develop this skill. What is a skill? Usually writers, they try to use phrases and clauses after the subject or after the object, and you should know how to identify and isolate. Put those phrases and clauses in brackets, then you can easily make out what the subject is, what the verb is, or what the verb has to be. The desire is singular. Perfect. But here, being a smart learner, first you have to get the answer. Once after getting the answer, you have to look at the question, ask the question, what else can I learn from this question? What else can I learn? Or what can I recollect? What can I consolidate? There's one word over here, prior. So what are you supposed to recollect? When you talk about comparative adjectives like anterior, posterior, senior, junior, superior, inferior, elder, preferable, prior, and the verb prefer, they all take the preposition to. That you have to recollect. Have you got it? There is no rule that they should not start. But here it is not a clause, it is a phrase, because to meet is a non-finite verb. Who asked that question? Prasads. Here it is a phrase, not a clause. You may ask why. To meet, the basic form or infinitive with to, it is a non-finite verb. A clause means it should have one finite verb. Here you don't have a finite verb, it's a non-finite verb. Then if you ask, so what is a finite verb, what is a non-finite verb? A finite verb is one that has a tense and it has to agree with the subject in person and number. And what is a non-finite verb? A non-finite verb is a verb that does not have a tense. It doesn't have to agree with the subject in person and number. For example, she is writing a letter. Here, writing is a finite verb. She is writing a letter. The second example, writing is a good habit. Here, writing is, though it's a verb, ing form used as a noun, that means gerund, and it is a non finite verb. It doesn't have a tense. It doesn't have to agree with the subject in person and number. I hope you guys got it. That is a bit deep going into grammar. Let us go to question number 5. For giving up the bad habit of smoking, use of chewing gum or similar other method can be helped. Prior to, yes. Prefer to. I prefer coffee to tea. Very good. Example as well. For giving up the bad habit of smoking, use of chewing gum or similar other method can be helped. Where is the error? How come no response? Give up, stop doing something. No, nothing wrong for giving up. Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. For giving up the bad habit of smoking. No error, no error. Use of chewing gum or similar other method. No problem. Can be helped or can be helpful. Very good. Who is that? Madhav. Can be. Not helped. We cannot use the word helped over here. Can be useful, can be helpful. Helpful is the right word. There's no other error. No other error. Only one. Only Madhav has got it right. That's very good. Highly appreciable. Now let us go to para jumble. An easy one. You guys haven't focused on the fourth part. Can be helpful, can be useful, similar pattern. This is from today's the Hindu paper, an easy one for a change. And tomorrow, I will. Someone asked, so what about close tests? I'm going to bring 1C. Over the last few years, the Delhi and Punjab governments have been very good, have been at the receiving end of scathing criticism on the issue of air pollution. Scathing means what? Severe. On the issue of air pollution. CF1 pair. After that, CF. They have been at the receiving end. They have been where? At the receiving end. Yes, Ramesh. But The annual interstate blame games have only served as a distraction even as residents in the two states continue to breathe polluted air. Here, AD1 pair, CFAD, exactly. No, no, no. CF1 pair, AD1 pair. After that, now with the Aam Aadmi Party governing both Delhi and Punjab, collaboration for clean air should be the mantra for both state governments. EB1 pair. CFADEB. That is the correct order. An easy one, not that difficult for a change. Today questions based on phrase replacement. A few are quite challenging. If you get all the five correct, you should be happy. Phrase replacement today. Five questions. It is necessary that we take any steps to reduce pollution soon. It is necessary that we take any steps. Need not be always negative to be at receiving end. Not always. For example, usually negative, not always. You are always at the receiving end. If you take students, students are always at the receiving end, not at the giving end. That meaning is different. Not it doesn't have a negative connotation, but usually it has a negative connotation. It is necessary that we take any steps. Any goes with interrogative and negative sentences. Here it is affirmative. So we cannot use any. We should take ever does not make any sense. We have taken no. Us to take any. They don't make any sense whatsoever. It is necessary that we take some steps. Here steps should have been in black to reduce pollution soon. Answer is the fourth option. It is necessary that we take some steps to reduce pollution soon. Remember, some goes with affirmative sentences, any goes with interrogative and negative sentences. It is too early to say how the impact the new tax will have on investors. No, any does not go with affirmative form, Ramesh. Any goes with interrogative and negative forms. Some goes with affirmative. It is too early to say how the impact the new tax will have on investors. How the impact does not make any sense. Yes, that's right, Satish Kumar. What impact the new tax will have seems right. That the impact, no. How much impacts? How much impact would have been correct? What are the impacts? No. It is too early to say what impact the new tax will have on investors. Answer is the first option. Trisha could not solve the problem at all and was at her wit ending. This is an important one. You have to know a particular idiom, only then you'll be able to answer. Question number 3, phrase replacement. We don't know what impact it is going to have. We wonder what impact it is going to have. So many expressions are there. Very good. Lakshman, Bharat, Sai Arvind, and Pavan. Trisha could not solve the problem at all and was at her wit ending does not make any sense. Her wits end means totally confused. Yes, Nagababu, very good. To be at one's wits end means to be completely confused. Other options not correct. And this is based on idiomatic expression. To be at one's wits end means to be completely confused. He had to prepare the document for his meeting urgently, but he was hardly pressed for time. I would like to tell something over here. Phrase replacement usually they go with the questions go with standard standard phrases, sometimes prepositions based on prepositions. But today these are from previous year's papers. Here you see a few questions based on idioms. That means what? If you know the idiom, you can answer. Otherwise, you cannot answer. So, what is the answer? The fourth one. Hardly pressed is not correct. He was hard pressed for timely, not correct. Hard pressed for time. This is the answer. Hardly not correct. Hard pressing, not correct. Hard pressed for time means very busy. Sometimes I say, I'm hard pressed for time. Means what? I'm very busy. Answer is the second option. Question number four, second option. No, second option. What is the reason? It goes with an idiomatic expression. What is the idiom over here? I'm hard pressed for time. Means what? I'm quite busy. That is the meaning of the idiomatic expression. As she bought quite a number of books, she got a heavy discount. As she bought quite a number of books, she got a heavy discount. Quite numbers of books. Heavy numbers, some numbers, many numbers. What is the answer? This is based on a standard phrase. We also say quite a good number. That is also correct. As she bought quite a number of books, she got a heavy discount. No correction required. It's a standard idiom. Idioms you cannot hard pressed for time. You cannot look at idioms from grammar point of view because they are standard expressions. Is that clear? And you cannot look at the words also. For example, not my cup of tea. The meaning and the words, they don't go with each other. Answer is no correction required. 5 idioms, try to get all the 5 correct. Phrase replacement, has anyone got all the 5 correct? I have brought 5 questions. Phrase replacement, has anyone got all the 5 correct? Not all, a few, 2 of them. Not all of them. To ask for or try to get something in an indirect way. So what is 4 is good. 3, 4, highly appreciable. All the 5 prasads, that's very good. Nothing to worry, 2 or 3. Please go to 5 idioms. To ask for or try to get something in an indirect way. Beaver away, monkey around, wolf down, fish, nothing to worry, Vijay. A long way to go. Be positive, be optimistic. All things are difficult before they are easy. You have to put in, you have to practice a lot, and you have to spend some time, work hard, then the scores will improve. Fish fur. Answer is the fourth option. To ask for or try to get something in an indirect way. Fish fur. Fourth option. To use someone or cling to someone for personal gain, often not giving anything in return. From this, you can make out cling to someone. One particular animal clings to. Which one is that? A leech. Oh, that's very good. Out of and English. Tell about English. Leech off. Answer is obviously cling to. Leech off. To behave in a stupid or careless way. Third one, to behave in a stupid or careless way. Monkey around, answer is the second option. To eat very quickly, this is a bit difficult to guess, answer is the third option. Wolf down. Wolf down means to eat very quickly. We also say, oh, 173, that's also very good. But tell about English. Monkey around, yes. To eat, to behave in a stupid or careless way. Eat very quickly, gulp down, swallow, wolf down. To work very hard, especially at writing or calculating something. Work very hard. Beavers are hard-working animals. Answer is the first option. They're always busy constructing bridges with logs. Beavers, known for that diligent nature. Oh, they haven't given section-wise cutoff. Let us go to the last slide, enrichment point of view. Editorial vocabulary. Fine, fine. Cocktail, mocktail, cocktail. A drink made by mixing two different drinks, alcoholic drinks. Fruit juices, mocktail. Alcoholic drinks. Here you have to recollect the word teetotaler. Who is a teetotaler? Teetotaler is a person who does not drink. 157.25. Okay, that's good. Prasads. Polarize, part of speech, verb. Divide a society into two contrasting, opposing groups. Divide into two opposing groups. That is very important. Crumble, a regular verb. Crumbled means what? Fall apart into small fragments. H. Run off, take it as phrasal verb. Can be used as a noun. Further election after a tie or inconclusive result. Whopping, adjective. Very large. Exactly. Nuanced, adjective. Nuances, noun. Means what? Subtle differences. Characterized by subtle differences. Subtle means slight. Crack down. This is also a phrasal verb. Take disciplinary action. Intact, adjective. Means what? Not damaged in any way. Complete, intact, an important word. Endorse is a regular verb. Declare one's public approval. Celebrities supporting a particular product, endorsing a particular product or a particular service. Alienated, alienate verb, alienated tribal group, adjective. But basically it is a verb. Alienate means what? Isolate. Alienated, isolated. That's all for today. Thanks for being with me till 8:49. Oh, we still have 11 minutes, no problem. No, no, as of now, no. Maybe soon. I'll be offering some free sessions, free classes. You have to wait for some time. Have a nice day. Thank you very much. Do remember to subscribe and share. Join the Telegram group. Go to the description of the video, click on the link, and I'm going to come up with a video today, descriptive English. Watch that. And descriptive English, usually what happens, give me 2 minutes. Students start after clearing prelims. That is not the right approach. You have to start early, and this is the right time. 2 or 3 months you may become very busy, and then you may not get enough time to work on your writing skill. So I'm coming up with a descriptive English course. Watch that video. And also spoken English course, people have students have been asking.